paintings were so sad?
And these flowers, do you like them?
Yes, I like them a lot. They said as if they came from far. Where are they from?
The south.
Ours have not bloomed yet.
They will soon. And when they do, we'll have to place them in all of the rooms.
Thank you.
Oh, why do you thank me?
Because it's a pretty idea, even if they're not for me. And the rest of the paintings, where should they be taken?
To the basement. With all due respect, but to the basement. You are very smiley today, Alicia.
I'm happy.
Why?
I don't know. You have been laughing the whole morning, and I have never had anyone laugh next to me.
That's funny. You were happy because I've been laughing.
Well, it's very good to hear people laugh. I also never had a friend, and you offered me your hand, looking into my eyes, so deep and clear. Would you like to give me your hand again?
Always a friend?
Always.
And don't you say thank you. You should let me say that. You always say that to everything. You would say that to a bird that came to sing in your window.
Why are you laughing now? You're laughing at me?
Yes. You are such a little girl.
Thanks.
Miss Chole.
Oh, good afternoon, Doctor. Do you notice anything new in here?
Those flowers? The paintings! You finally turned them out!
They were too somber. They did not do these people any good.
Nevertheless, they had a solemn prestige. Anyway, The Spring by Botticelli.
Have I chosen properly?
Yes, it is luminous, tranquil. I start to get really interested in my patients.
Very much so. I never imagined a human spectacle so bewildering. So comedic and tragic at the same time.
What about that sensational article?
I will not write it anymore.
Fernando will.
Maybe. He is a man, and he's strong. But I, today, would not dare to bear in public these little pains to satisfy a truth that is already well fed. Curiosity that is already well fed.
The woman has appeared already, I can tell.
That little girl, always alone, that thinks everything which is beautiful, as if it were a present. And then that poor bank employee who has never left his home and his office, yet thinks himself a hero of love and extraordinary trips.
Plus, you work seriously. I know you've been locked in my office until dawn.
I'm interested in your books, your statistics. I've discovered in them things that I never would have imagined.
What kind of things?
The constant contradiction of the suicidal with the logic of life. Why is it that winners kill themselves more than losers? Why do more people kill themselves in youth than in old age? Why do more lovers kill themselves more than those that have never encountered love? And why do more people kill themselves at sunrise and at night, and in the spring more than in the winter?
Hard to understand for a happy woman, but the observation is scientifically exact.
To kill oneself is always a brutal denial. But to kill oneself in the midst of youth and the time of love and spring is an insult to nature.
Maybe.
Animals don't kill themselves.
Sometimes they do. Scorpions, when they feel surrounded by fire, will use their own poisonous stings on themselves.
But that is not to look for death voluntarily. That is to hurry it, to avoid pain.
Pain. That's the ultimate motive. I think that, without realizing it, you have answered your own doubts from before. Do you think pain is 100 times more intolerable when we're surrounded by love and triumph, when the blood is young and everything around us is dressed in roses?
No, Doctor. Don't you make me doubt. Life is not just a right. It is, above all, a duty.
I hope you always think like this.
Dr. Rhoda, to your orders. I want to ask something from you. Something very hard, very intimate, but necessary.
Am I in the way?
Not at all. This young lady is of my absolute trust.
Doctor.
Tell me.
Doctor, make me die.
Me?
Yes, I understand it is a very strict tradition, but it's just that you don't know. I'm a doctor too. I've asked the same from all the fellows. All of them have compassion for me, but none of them has wanted to help me. You can do it out of compassion, doctor. I've done it once before. I swear, it is absolutely necessary.
Why?
Because it is monstrous to keep living like this. I've never had great motivation to desire life, but I used to have her. I had a duty. I was the voice that needed me.
Who was she?
She was my daughter. She was paralyzed in childhood. She was always lying in a hammock. Nothing moved in her body, only her eyes. And that lovely musical voice of hers, that was a lifetime. I would read her the poems by Tennyson, and she would listen, looking at me. And we would talk sometimes, very little, very hushed, but more than enough for both of us. Until one day, I felt sick. I could not deny it. It was one of those slow and certain evils that don't forget. Then I only felt the terror of leaving her alone. Poor still flesh, what would her life be without me? I could not resign myself to this idea. I had morphine within my reach. And I put her to sleep. Painless. Until she never woke up. Do you understand? She was my daughter and my life, and I killed her myself, and I'm still here. I'm feeling scared that my evil is going away, and I will end up healing. And I don't have the strength to finish with myself. Coward! Coward!
Yes, life is a duty, but it is sometimes a very painful duty.
Alicia!
Alicia? Who's called Alicia in here?
She was our nurse.
She was also called Alicia. It is extraordinary how much they look alike. The same eyes, but in her, they are sadder. If you will excuse me, the same hands. But these are healthy, warm. And the voice? Would you like to say something, Miss?
Thank you.
No, not the voice. I'm sorry, but you have a very pleasant voice. But when she said thank you, everything around was quiet. What were you reading? Verses? Do you know the poems by Tennyson? If you don't mind, I will read them out loud. Could it be, Doctor? In the garden, would you? You can lay in the hammock, and I will sit next to you.
Very thankful, sir.
No. Look at me, if you will. Don't speak. Don't say anything. Alicia!
Do you think we can save him?
It seems to me he is already saved.
Hola!
Hola!
Helmswoman! Excuse me, doctor.
You've been gone the whole day.
I was in the mountains. The doctor seemed to think that I suffer nature's charms.
And you left without saying goodbye.
You were asleep like a log. Like a sandalwood log.
Did you think of me?
The whole day.
Why did you not write to me?
I will write for you tonight.
Did you see the sunrise?
Yes, it's funny. He comes up with such a sleepy face. But when he appears, it's colder than before.
Was there frost? And are there shepherds with their zamaras and sheepflocks?
Oh, there are sheep. And some stupid shepherds with their zamaras. They throw stones at their sheep.
Marie Antoinette used to dress up like a shepherd.
Yes, and they cut her head off. Excuse me, doctor, I come dripping with health.
Did you bring me anything?
Yes, an Alps rose, a white one. Those that only bloom in between snow and abyss. I left it in your room.
Why did you do that? They say that those wither when they come down from the mountains. Poor rose.
Ah, women. I could have risked my life trying to get that rose. And nothing. But the rose is withering. Poor rose. You don't seem very happy with your day in the field. I get the feeling I'm an urban creature.
That fair forest? That air loaded with chamomile? Those snow peaks, did they not say anything to you?
Nothing. It's the same thing that happened last year and the year before, and
40 centuries ago in that mountain.
You like an anarchic nature full of surprises.
With imagination. Let's not say we didn't help Mother Nature. She produces all the food, but all of it raw. And let's not say she couldn't have invented a typewriter, an elevator, a simple screw. She's been in charge of the trees since the beginning of time, and she hasn't even thought of a simple graft. I'd like to see Mother Nature work in a newspaper.
And even so, nature is more than half of all art.
That's true. I literally have nothing to reproach. The wild landscape is the natural environment of the goats and the poets, but journalistically, it has no emotion. Only humans matter.
Any news, Hans?
None. The philosophy professor, like every morning, has jumped into the lake. And like every morning, he's come back out swimming. He's drying himself now.
What about the bank employee?
He's in the Werther garden, telling the story of Cora Jakob to everyone. No one believes him, and so he cries at sunset.
And the lady of the Greek pavilion?
The sad lady. Do not know what is wrong with her. She's been systematically refusing to eat for the past 3 days.
We need to prevent that.
I've insisted, ma'am, this cannot be. For the sake of the seriousness of this house. A piece of milk, a glass of milk, a piece of veal. When I suggested that, she started crying like a caveman. I don't understand her.
I do.
She seems like she wants to starve herself to death. But she wanted an original procedure. I just don't get it. Are you laughing, sir? I am not.
We are not in a very good mood today, Hans.
Forgive me, doctor, but there are a few things that do not go well with my character. I am a serious man. I came to a serious house to fulfill a serious duty. And for the past 3 days, nothing has been running properly.
Since we came here?
Exactly. Why do you laugh? No one has laughed here before. And it's contagious. I caught the philosophy professor whistling the Blue Danube last night. Where will we all end up?
Patience, Hans. We will all get there in some time.
Let us hope so. Doctor, the paintings.
It was Miss Choi's idea. The others seemed too somber to her.
But they were at home. That Lara had such an encouraging seriousness. That Seneca, careless and romantic. That spring. What will that spring have to do in here? This is not serious. This is not serious!
Your assistant's a curious man.
Greek or handicapped.
Handicapped?
Yes, his soul. War leaves traces in everyone. Those who fall and those who make it through. This man used to have an old beer brewery in a town of Leech. He was a young, happy man. Sang old songs, had friends, children, and a woman. During the war, he served 4 years at a blood hospital. 4 years looking at and feeling death at all times. After the armistice, when he went back to his land, his children, his friends, his wife had all disappeared. And the beer brewery, and the town of the beer brewery. Hans was a destroyed man. He was only good to follow death when she was making her rounds. He was looking for work at hospitals and sanatoriums. That's how he ended up here. I'm not sure if we have him as an assistant or as a patient.
But this is perfect. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Journalistic interest, right? Go on, write. And when you're done, come find me in my office. To you, happy man, I have another story to tell. A story about 2 brothers that you might find more interesting. Go on, write.
The one in love with death. Beer brewery. 1941.
I hope I'm not mistaken. Is this...
Dr. Ariel's foundation.
Exactly. Splendid. So it is real. Do you have an empty space?
Yes. We don't ask anyone where they're coming from or where they're going. We can put you in the blue pavilion. Urgent case?
No. I should tell you. Of course, I have to tell you. I don't have the slightest desire to kill myself.
No?
I'm an artist, you know. I have triumphed in hundreds of countries. But, unfortunately, the years go by and one's faculties diminish. And when they diminish, one has no more remedy than to increase one's publicity. I don't know if you understand me.
I think I do. What you need is a size 12, bold font with 3 colored pictures in the magazine. And of course, harmless.
Exactly. Exactly. You are very smart.
I can defend myself.
Now, about the price, I don't care what it is.
Neither do I, but we'll do something right for you. Would you mind if I took some information for your file? Profession, artist.
Opera singer.
Singer. Spanish?
International. I was born on a boat.
Age? Do you find 24 to be appropriate?
Thank you.
And name?
Cora Yaco.
Cora Yaco. Cora Yaco? Is it really you? Oh God, let me hold your hand.
You've heard me sing before.
No, but it's all the same. This was such a good idea of yours.
Well, what do you want? In my career, I have had mourning, scandal, a shipwreck.
You were married to an Indian Raj. You got divorced in California.
You knew?
I'm a journalist. We learn everything through the papers. Would you mind if I left you alone here for a moment? There's a resident here who would be very happy to receive you. Cora Yaco, Cora Yaco!
Such a sympathetic young man. Excuse me. Are you an employee of the house? Ah, then you are a... How interesting. It's chilly in here. So, why?
Love! I have loved a lot. I have been happy all that man can be happy. Why would you live more? I have held Marguerite, Brynhilde, and Scheherazade in my arms.
I see.
Why do you look at me like that? You think I'm crazy, right? Like everyone. It is not easy to understand me. You would have had to meet her. I saw her first at the Faust.
Was she a singer?
She was a silver voice entwined with a soul. I was a sad young man, but I had my youth. I wrote poems. Cora did not need anything more.
Her name was Cora.
Cora Yaco.
Cora Yaco. How interesting.
I was in the height of the gallery, but the whole night she sang for me.
For you alone.
Her eyes were telling me they did not leave me for a moment. The next night I returned. I brought her a bouquet of orchids. I could not deny her the flowers, so they cost me more than I made to eat. I stole the money.
You stole? Did you get to love her that much in one night?
Sometimes a lifetime fits into 1 hour.
And her?
She understood. She kissed the flowers slowly, looking at me. That is how the love started. One night in Vienna, the Danube, the boat, we left for Cairo.
I remember Cairo. It's that big old town, so dirty that has the hotel in front of the theater?
I don't remember the hotel.
Yes, and they water the streets with a skinfold.
I don't know. All I remember is an afternoon on a camel in the red sands, the desert drums, the side of the Nile, and then the pyramids.
There were pyramids around?
Haven't you been to Egypt?
I have been 3 times, but only in the theaters and the casinos.
Cora was looking for the landscape with me, the gesture and song of the races. One night in Athens.
Athens. I remember Athens. It's on the way back from Montevideo, right?
Sometimes, yes.
And it has that hotel that doesn't have bathrooms and some spicy food. And there was a blonde businessman who spoke in Spanish.
It is possible. All I remember is the night at the Parthenon, Cora wanted to sing the Thigh Massonade naked on the steps of the Phidias. Oh, in India, the gods of the jungle with set arms like a chandelier. In Japan, with its dragons and samurai. Have you been in the East?
I have been there, but I don't think I ever noticed properly. Tell me, have you really been there? Really? Really?
Why do you ask?
Because now I realize that I've never seen anything. I would like for us to go back there together. I can also sing and wear Brynhilder's clothes. Scheherazade.
Why are you looking at me like that? Those eyes. Eyes, who are you?
Cora and Jacob.
Impossible!
Don't squeeze so hard. You must tell me, slowly, of all the trips we have taken together. I am staying in the Blue Pavilion. I will certainly be pleased to receive your flowers, even if they are not orchids.
Cora! Cora!
He isn't here. Have you seen Fernando?
Good afternoon, Jolie.
Good afternoon. Have you seen him?
I don't think he will get lost.
Why do you speak to me with that tone? I asked about your brother. You answered me like I had heard you.
I was the one who was here.
Yes, but I was looking for him.
Yes, for him. Always for him. Oh, you go to him with your eyes closed. And if while passing by, you run into me and just turn the other way without looking at me, and I say, good afternoon, Jolie. I am still the bitter one, the nettle. Oh, you have an admirable sense of selfishness.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I've gotten used to it.
Ron! I'll never be able to understand you. We've been raised almost like siblings. I hope you like something of my own, yet I've never known what you carry inside. What are you keeping in there, which is always rotting you?
Nothing.
Ever since we were here, he's not been able to see you once. If I mentioned
Right enough. Jolie, just talk to me about yourself or the world, or just be quiet. Enough about Fernando already.
But he's your brother.
And what has he been for it, eh? So my misery could be more evident next to him? Oh, he was born strong and healthy. I was born ill. He was the pride of the house. I, the silly and useless, the eternal second. Oh, he never studied. What for? He had grace and talent. I had to kill myself with books to painfully achieve half of what he achieved without effort. I copied maps and problems from him while he just played in the gardens, and his grades were always better than mine.
But it doesn't matter. You can't blame Fernando for something he can't control.
Yes, and then while we were kids with all these things, it meant nothing. But this anguish has been growing in me until it has poisoned all my life. You know how much I loved my mother. I adored her on my knees. I worshipped her like a sacred thing. Oh, but she could not love me the same way. Wherever Fernando was, he came between us and everything was for him. When she got really sick and the doctors asked for a blood transfusion, I was the first one to offer mine. But the doctors refused it. It wasn't good. I've never been good enough for anything.
But why?
Oh, Fernando's was good. Why? Weren't we brothers? Why would he have better blood than me? And then I looked after her for weeks and weeks. He kept playing in the gardens. He wasn't even there until the last minute. But nevertheless, my mother died looking in his direction.
Don't think of those things now. You're not being fair.
Oh, I'm not being fair, right? Life has, right? And Fernando and you.
Me?
Don't you see it? After my mother, there hasn't been another woman in my life but you.
What?
Don't you see that I've contemplated you just as I did her, that I've adored you just as much as I did her, and I haven't been able to tell you?
What are you saying? Come on.
If you like tulips, and one day you found a bouquet on your pillow, you could only think, oh, Fernando loves me so much, and I was the one who'd gotten them for you. If sleep won you over in the middle of work, and you woke up and you found it finished, you'd only think, oh, poor Fernando. And Fernando had slept the whole night. This Fernando has always been getting in my way. It's not his fault, I know. Oh, if it was, this drama of mine could be resolved.
For heaven's sake, Juan, be quiet.
But it's not. The worst fact is that he's good. He is so odiously good. So that's why I have to bite my tears and sit back. Nobody pays any attention to me, the miserable and the bad brother.
For heaven's sake, don't you see what you're saying is equal? That you're tearing yourself apart and making our happiness impossible.
Your happiness, how much you defend it, but just take my advice, Chole. If you have happiness, go and hide yourself. You can't walk around with jewelry in a neighborhood of beggars. You can't walk with a happiness like yours in a world of miserables. Forgive me, Chole, this is all very bitter, but I swear to you I'm not bad. I also love Fernando. If only he wasn't so happy.
If Fernando wasn't so happy, what?
If one day I saw him being truly miserable, I would go after him with all my heart. Then we would be brothers. Oh, I'm sorry, Chole. I've hurt you, but I had to tell you. It was rotting in here. Please forgive me.
No, Juan. You should forgive us. Both of us. But leave me.
Goodbye, Chole.
Impossible. Impossible. One day Fernando is miserable, then we would be brothers. We will be again soon, poor Juan. I was between both of you without knowing it, but I won't anymore. Running away? Not enough. That gallery also goes to the lake. They say that death in water is sweet, like forgetting. All of one's life is remembered in a moment, and then nothing. A cold cloth over the soul. To die. To forget.
We finally have one. Prepared precisely for one of laughter and spring. Brave girl.
Hans, those lights.
Are you waiting for anything?
I hope so.
And you, Fernando, were you thinking of working tonight?
No. You seem worried. I am, Doctor. It's just the story of the two brothers you told me. What does it mean?
It's just a vulgar story. The weak and failed brother, the healthy and the triumph brother, nothing else.
But then why did you not look at me when you told me it?
I was doing nothing more than explaining scientifically a case that we have here. That morbid strain in weak men's souls, in the hated children, in the insufficient. Science has given it a very stupid name, inferiority complex. The name is relatively new, but the drama is old as the world. According to this naming system, Cain's drama will be the first example of this kind of complex in the history of humanity.
But then why did you tell it to me without looking at me? Who are the two brothers?
Anybody.
No, they're not anybody. One of them's me.
Maybe.
Doctor, Fernando, it's Chole. He's late.
Chole? What does this mean, Hans? Doctor!
Doctor, please help, please help. She has no pulse. I can't hear her breathing. Doctor,
What happened?
she fell into the lake. I don't know if I got to her in time.
But how did this happen?
Silence.
She's safe.
Surely.